Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing another celebrity deep dive episode, and today I'm going to be talking about one of the most well-known actors. He's basically I'm pretty sure his popularity is worldwide, or so I've come to the conclusion of after doing all the research on Johnny Depp. We've seen him in a lot of movies. Probably some of his most well-known roles includes Jack Sparrow, maybe Edward Scissorhands, all those. So without further ado, let's get right into the video and talk about the life, career, and everything else when it comes to Johnny Depp. Johnny Christopher Depp II was born to Betty Sue Palmer and John Christopher Depp I on June 9th, 1963, in Owensboro, Kentucky. I don't recall I live in the U.S., but I don't remember where Kentucky is, because I heard Kentucky, and now all I'm thinking is Kansas for some reason. I don't know. Anyways, continuing, Betty Sue, birth last name was Wells. Then she was Depp when married to John I, and eventually it was changed to Palmer when she got remarried. So basically, Betty Sue Palmer was a waitress until her later years when Johnny Depp supported her financially, but for the most part, her whole life was spent as a waitress. And John Christopher Depp I was a civil designer for many years before retiring in 1996. And when Johnny was born, he already had 3 older siblings. Daniel Depp, born in 1953, Debbie Depp, her birth year is unknown, is not publicly known, and Christy Dombrowski in 1960. I'm assuming she has a different last name because she's married, because the other two still have the last name Depp. And actually, speaking of the sister whose whose birth year isn't known, I did find that she was a school teacher. So she wasn't exactly in the public light, which makes the unknown birthday make a lot of sense. And while Johnny was a young child, the Depp family had moved around a lot, but finally they had settled down in I might pronounce the town incorrectly, but Miramar, Florida, in 1970. When Johnny was 12 years old, Betty Sue gave him a guitar, and he soon began to play with multiple different bands. He did really enjoy the guitar. And in 1978, when Johnny was 15 years old, his parents, obviously that being John I and Betty Sue, got a divorce. Don't they all? That's a common theme in celebrity circles. Now, granted, none of these guys are celebrities just yet. Johnny would not become actually famous for another many years, but I feel like divorce happens a lot in these stories. It's kind of sad. But later, though the exact time is unknown, his mother got remarried to a man named Robert Palmer, and in interviews, Johnny would later describe Robert as an inspiration, so that tells me that these guys are on good terms. There wasn't because from my understanding, sometimes kids could feel like resentment almost when one of their parents moves on with another person or something. But technically speaking, I wouldn't really know anything about that. I just remember hearing that one time, so in the comments tell me if that is true. For some people. Alright, in 1979, when he was 16 years old, Johnny would drop out of Miramar High School with plans to become a rock musician. Johnny, go back to school, I beg you. However, 2 weeks later, he tried to rejoin school, just for the principal to tell him to follow his musician dreams instead. Excuse me, principal, can we rethink that decision, please? Thank you. Alright, now we are going to the 80s, where he had rising fame. Alright, starting off the 80s, in 1980, Johnny Depp joined a band called The Kids. After some modest local success in Florida, the band moved to Los Angeles in pursuit of a record deal. And when they did this, they changed their name to Six Gun Method. So, I understand that. Just naming your band The Kids, like, I'm sure that's already been taken professionally. Like, that feels like a name that would be common among bands. So, that makes sense. I think he was like 17, 18 around this time. And in addition to being part of the band, Johnny would also work a number of different odd jobs, which included telemarketing. Why am I talking like this? Like, yo, why am I talking like this? I'm just like, do I sound professional? At least, like, somewhat professional. Let me know in the comments, please. Because I don't know why I'm talking like this. Alright, Six Gun Method, / the Kids, whatever I'm supposed to call them at this point, broke up before singing a record deal in 1984, and after that, Johnny began collabing with a band named Rock City Angels. He co-wrote a song for them called Mary. So yeah, the band broke up. They didn't last long, I guess, and now he's kind of working with other bands because he likes music, but he's not quite an actor yet. But in December 1983, Johnny got married to a makeup artist named Lori-Ann Allison. She was the sister of the old band's bassist, I probably mispronounced that, I apologize, and singer. During their marriage, Lori-Ann got him introduced to the famous actor Nicolas Cage, which I found interesting. I was like, I didn't know, like, Johnny Depp's introduction to the acting world to Nicolas Cage. How old even was Nicolas Cage this time? I did not search that up, but, basically after that, he and Johnny, Nicolas and Johnny, they became good drinking buddies. Oh, Johnny, why? Why are you all drinking? Please, I beg the question, why? At least there was nothing about him being a drunk or anything. Like, no, his issues didn't come until, like, the 2010s. This guy's real issues didn't come until, like, the 2010s. But, basically, Johnny, meanwhile, had an interest in acting ever since he read a biography about the popular 50s actor, the 1950s actor, James Dean. I would assume you guys have heard of James Dean, even if you haven't seen any of his movies, because that would be me, too. Like, I have not seen a single James Dean film in memory, that is. But I know who he is. He was, like... He was one of the most popular actors in the 50s. And also, still in 1984, like, we're in 1984. Why did I say also in 1984? I think that's right. He met Nicolas Cage in around 1984. Now, 1984, Johnny made his film debut in the popular horror movie A Nightmare on Elm Street, which I have seen a lot. I'm trying to save up to get it on my Fandango at Home account, because the only times I ever get to watch it is, like, when it's on Hulu or Max during, not Hulu, Max, HBO Max during Halloween season, but that's the only time it's on there. So I have nowhere else to watch Nightmare on Elm Street, because I really like it. I think it's fun. I think it's a fun movie. I don't find it scary, but that might just be a me thing. And anyways, back to about Nightmare on Elm Street. Nicolas Cage had helped him get the role despite Johnny having no acting experience. And he would even say that he ended up acting by accident. This is an actual quote by Johnny in a later interview. Like, he never meant to become an actor. Even then, he largely only got the role of Glenn Lance, main character's boyfriend, in this movie because director Wes Craven's daughter had noticed his skill. So I guess the daughter was on set or something, like, during auditions, and she noticed that he did have some raw talent or something. And later, in 1985, on a film set, not the film set, this is after that movie came out, on a different film set for a different movie, Johnny would meet actress Sherilyn Fenn, and they would soon start a relationship. So this is his first relationship since Lori-Ann Allison, who they did get a divorce, if you're wondering. Like, they did divorce before he started dating Sherilyn. didn't find a reason for the divorce. Maybe I couldn't find a reason for the divorce, but they did get divorced, which again is very common in the celebrity world. And after starting to date Sherilyn, despite stating that Johnny had no interest in acting, he would continue to get cast in more films, including Private Resort in 1985, Slow Burn in 1986, and Platoon in 1986 as well. And throughout the late 80s, Johnny soon became a teen idol when he starred in the TV show 21 Jump Street, which, I mean, was his real start, which I think might be his real start to actual fame, because, yeah, I'm sure he got, like, all kinds of, like, popularity from Nightmare on Elm Street. Like, I feel like 21 Jump Street's what a lot of people think of as his, like, first big role. But, this show premiered in 1987, and he only accepted to have the role because actor Frederick Forrest was also in it, and Johnny he felt inspired by Frederick Forrest's work and stuff. So despite his immense success, Johnny would describe it as being forced into the role of product, which, from my understanding, basically that means that, like, he's just playing a role that will get him, like, popularity or, like, high reviews and that kind of thing, you know? And in 1987, Johnny and his girlfriend of 2 years, remember, Sherilyn Fenn, would get engaged! Yay! So this would probably be his second marriage. Oh, wait, but sadly, in 1988, Johnny and Sherilyn broke up because of the pressure that's currently being put on both their acting careers. Sherilyn was an actress. And they are also having issues with distance, which, I mean, when you're going out to all these different film sets, and probably different film sets too, like, yeah, I can see why distance would be an issue that would pop up in your relationship. But despite this, the two remained on good terms, which I would believe, because, like, it wasn't like they broke up because one was abusing the other or something. And in 1989, Johnny Depp started to briefly date and then later get engaged to fellow actress Jennifer Grey. You guys should know who she is. She was really popular around this time. I think she's pretty much still popular. And eventually they broke up because of Johnny's volatile behavior, which included intense jealousy and paranoia. But, I mean, honestly, can you blame him? He's dating Jennifer Grey. I mean, look at her. Like, I'm assuming the paranoia, like, from my understanding, paranoia and jealousy was that he thought that she was gonna cheat or something, which, I mean, I feel like you gotta trust your girlfriend to not cheat, but, I mean, it's Jennifer Grey, and when I say it's Jennifer Grey, I don't mean she's bad, I just mean she's pretty, like, of course, might be other guys who are interested in her. And, but after this though, like, after the breakup, they did not remain friends, which is, like, the first time I've seen where like, exes and, like, celebrity exes don't remain on good terms. Like, they did not remain friends. And Jennifer Grey even said in an interview in 2022 that she had not seen or spoken to Johnny in 30 years. But she also, in the same interview, described their 1989 romance as sweet. So, I mean, what's going on? Anyways, following this, so we're still in 1989, Johnny Depp started dating fellow actress Winona Ryder. I'm pretty sure this is like right after Winona was dating Christian Slater, but, like, that was never official, but with Johnny, they did have an official relationship, and they met in June, and only 5 months later, the two got engaged. And this is why you guys always get, like, the divorces and the breakups. Like, I feel like celebrities, I know there's some, like, average, like, everyday people that, like, move that fast in a relationship, but, like, 5 months seems pretty fast to me to get engaged, of all things, but, I mean, yeah. And many actually would describe Johnny and Winona as the it couple. And Winona would even describe him as her first everything, which, even though she did have a brief romance with Christian Slater, I mean, technically she's not wrong, because, like, this is her first, like, real relationship. So, I believe her. That's not, like, a contradictory statement to anything else in Winona Ryder's life. Alright, remember how I said that Johnny like was kind of getting bored and disillusioned with acting? Well, because of that disillusion on 21 Jump Street in the 1990s, Johnny decided to focus on taking roles that he actually found interesting and not what would do well in the box office specifically. Which definitely explains a lot of the box office failures of his career since then. Because, I mean, you know what? And honestly, like, I mean, you're getting a paycheck either way. Like, technically, if you're an actor, even if the movie fails at box office, you're getting your paycheck either way. So, I mean, you're not really risking too much other than maybe public perception when you do that. But anyways, between 1990 and 1993, Johnny would star in more movies such as Cry Baby, which is 1990, Edward Scissorhands, also in 1990, Arizona Dream in 1993, and Benny and June in 1993 as well. He had no film roles at all between 1991 and 1992. He's basically taken bit of a movie break, though he might have been in TV shows, but I didn't really look for the TV shows with any of these people that I've talked about so far in this series. I kind of just focused on the movie roles in their life, so yeah. And in 1993, Johnny and Winona broke up after being together for 4 years. Which, they still weren't married, though. They remained engaged since, like, that point when they originally got engaged 5 months into the relationship. So they spent like 3.5 years engaged without getting married. Yeah. And Johnny Wood later described the breakup as quote unquote hurting bad, but the two did hold mutual respect for each other since then. And also in 1993, Johnny Depp and an actress and singer named Juliette Lewis allegedly had a brief romantic connection. This was after Winona Ryder. And also in 1993, and this is August specifically, Johnny opened up a club on Hollywood's Sunset Strip called the Viper Room, which is very infamous now. Became an infamous hangout for younger elite actors and musicians. And in October of the same year, so a month after, 2 months. I forgot September exists. 2 months after it opened, a famous actor, River Phoenix, overdosed out on the sidewalk of the Viper Room. And up until selling his share of the Viper Room in 2004, Johnny would make sure that he would close down for one day, Halloween, basically, in honor of River Phoenix, to honor him on the day that he had passed away. And in 1994, the next year after this incident at the Viper Room, Johnny would work with Tim Burton again, first time since Edward Scissorhands, to star in a movie called Ed Wood. This film was a biography about cinema's most inept director of the same name. Now, I do see that, I feel like Johnny does work with Tim Burton a lot. Like, Johnny Depp and Tim Burton work together a lot. Like, I feel like a good chunk of Johnny's most well-known movies and roles are actually from Tim Burton movies. So, I mean, yeah. Excuse me, In interviews later on, Johnny would say that during this time he was feeling depressed about films and filmmaking. But when he heard about Ed Wood, within 10 minutes he was committed to the role. And with Ed Wood, Johnny got his third ever Golden Globes nomination overall ever. But this specific category that he got was Best Musical and Comedy Actor. I guess it was a musical. And in 1994, he reportedly was briefly romantic romantically connected with fellow actress Ellen Barkin. This was only alleged though, just like the last one I mentioned. And in the same year, Johnny Depp would start dating a model named Kate Moss. Between 1994 and 1997, his love for acting was reignited because of Tim Burton's movie Ed Wood. He would go on to star in more movies, including Don Juan DeMarco in 1994, Nick of Time in 1995, Dead Man in 1995 as well, and The Brave in 1997. The last one got generally negative reviews though, and for obvious reasons. I know Johnny Depp isn't 100% white, but I'm pretty sure he is, from my recollection, he does not have any Native American heritage, and he's playing, like, a Native American guy. And, like, I believe the movie had a lot of stereotypes, which, I know it might sound hypocritical of me if you know how I feel about, like, say the Native Americans in 1953's Peter Pan, but there's a difference here. This movie's about real American Native Americans, whereas Disney's Peter Pan, I think of them as Native Neverlandians. That movie has no connection to the U.S. other than these random Native folks. So, like, I see how that would sound weird me saying that, but overall, I don't really have an opinion on this. I don't even know the movie. I'm just saying what I found about it. And later on, between 1998 and 1999, Johnny would star in more movies, which also included more box office failures, like with the Native American movie, including Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas in 1998, The Source in 1999, and The Ninth Gate in 1999 as well. But going back to 1998, though, real quick, Johnny and his girlfriend of 4 years, Kate Moss, would break up. The reason was because Johnny had prioritized his career far more than the relationship, and in interviews he even admitted to being hard to live with. Both would go on to remember the relationship very fondly, though, which, is nice when you hear this, after all. And and later in 1998, Johnny Depp would start dating a French singer and model named Vanessa Paradis, who he would be with for many years. The next year, in 1999, Johnny and Vanessa would welcome home their first kid together, a daughter named Lily Rose Depp, and she would be raised mostly in France, leading to her fluently knowing both French and English. And Lily Rose Depp also went on to become I was going to say popular actress, but is she popular? I feel like I hear more about Johnny than I do Lily Rose, but Lily Rose is an actress. I don't think she's as famous and popular as her dad, but maybe she will be one day. And near the end of 1999, he starred, Johnny, again, we're going back to Johnny, he starred as Ichabod Crane in yet another Tim Burton movie called The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, or in this specific case, Sleepy Hollow. Like, the legend of part is just, like, the story's more based off of. And in later interviews, Johnny would say that he pictured Ichabod as a soft guy, and he would take inspiration from a few actors and actresses, including Angela Lansbury, and he also described Ichabod as a man who was too in touch with his feminine side. The movie turned out to be a huge success, though. But I would feel like I want to kind of ask Johnny Depp what he means by Ichabod being too in touch with his feminine side. Like, it technically is okay to, like, for a guy to be kind of feminine, so, like, I would like him to elaborate on that one day. Please, Johnny, please do. Like, I'm not like, trying to call out Johnny Depp or something. I'm not, like, mad, or I'm not trying to be like that or something, because honestly, like, hey, portray Ichabod Crane however you want to, so long as it has some connection to the original source material. And let's just move on. Alright, now to the 2000s, where Johnny starts getting some real worldwide fame. Between 2000 and 2002, Johnny would star in more films, including The Man Who Cried in 2000, Chocolate, there's no E at the end, 2000, From Hell in 2001, and Lost in La Mancha? I'm sorry, guys. In 2002, also, Johnny and Vanessa welcomed home their second child, a son named Jack, he went by Jack, Christopher Depp III. Jack would grow up to be a skilled artist and musician, as Johnny has described in later interviews. In 2003, Johnny Depp starred in Disney's movie based off of their famous Disneyland ride, Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl. Now, this film ended up as a major box office success. For his performance as Captain Jack Sparrow, he received widespread acclaim and even received an Academy Award, Golden Globe, and BAFTA nominations. There were awards that he did actually win, though, which included a Screen Actors Guild Award. Now, in later interviews, Johnny would describe the character Jack Sparrow as definitely a big part of himself, and he largely modeled the character after the Rolling Stones guitarist Keith Richards and a cartoon skunk named Pepe Le Pew. After the 2003 film, there would be 4 more Pirates of the Caribbean movies made. So there's like 5 of these things. And between 2004 and 2005, Johnny would go on to star in even more movies, including Secret Window in 2004, Happily Ever After also in 2004, and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory in 2005. With, that last one, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, was yet another reunion with dear Tim Burton. This guy really likes working with Tim Burton. And in this film, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the movie had a positive critical reception. Johnny once again had been nominated for a Golden Globe because of his performance as Willy Wonka. Immediately after that movie, Johnny came back for another Tim Burton film, this time an animated movie called Corpse Bride. That movie gave me nightmares. Corpse Bride gave me nightmares as a little kid. And Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, well, let's just say I got nothing against Johnny Depp or anything, but I think I'll stick to the Gene Wilder one. Thank you very much. And between 2006 and 2009, Johnny would appear in more movies. A lot of movies, including 2 more Pirates of the Caribbean movies. I told you there was like 4 sequels. Sweeney Todd, The Demon Barber of Fleet Street in 2007, which is another Tim Burton movie. And it actually reminded many of Edward Scissorhands back in 1990, and Public Enemies came out in 2009. Now, throughout the 2000s and a bit in the 1990s, Johnny Depp would often co-star with fellow actress, an actress named Helena Bonham Carter. You may know her from a lot of roles. One of her most famous, though, is definitely Bellatrix Lestrange in Harry Potter, who I named my cat after. She's not in here right now. I don't know where Bellatrix is, but my cat's name is Bellatrix Lestrange Morgan. So, fun fact about my pets, I guess. And they are known to be very close friends, Johnny and human Bellatrix, and Helena. I was going to say human Bellatrix. Wait a minute. What am I talking about? I started thinking about my cat. My cat's name is Bellatrix, but the actress's name is actually Helena. I'm sorry, Helena. Johnny and Helena were known to have a good, close, professional, collaborating friendship. They were frequently co-starring, basically. Now the 2010s, is when Johnny Depp starts to have some issues, but first there were some things that happened before the whole situation. I'm sure you all remember seeing in the news. Even I remember seeing this in the news. And, when it first started, I was, 6 years old, and by the time it finally came to a close, I was, 12, but... Anyway, starting off the 2010s, Johnny Depp starred in one of Disney's first live-action remakes. Those gosh darn remakes, I hate them so much. Alice in Wonderland. No, seriously, Disney, stop! The Snow White movie sucked. Lilo and Stitch, it was all so bad. And in this film, he played the Alice in Wonderland, in this film, he played the Mad Hatter, who got a real name in this movie, which was Terrence High Top, and I'm gonna be honest, I only like the sequel, and I know it's a hot take, but the sequel's the only one I can watch. when it comes to the Alice in Wonderland live action movies. And once again, he found himself co-starring with Helena Bonham Carter, who played the Queen of Hearts. Oh, Johnny and Helena are reuniting again in the professional world. Despite the film receiving largely mixed reviews, the film ultimately made over $1 billion in box office. And this is why we have the never-ending just line of Disney live action remakes. Thanks a lot, Alice in Wonderland, Johnny Depp, all you Tim Burton. This is a Tim Burton movie, I think. I'm pretty sure it's a Tim Burton movie. Yeah, this and the Dumbo remake. Between 2010 and 2012, Johnny would star in more movies, including The Tourist 2010, Rango 2011, and a fourth Pirates of the Caribbean movie also in 2011, and The Rum Diary also in 2011. In 2012, though, Johnny Depp and long-term girlfriend Vanessa Paradis, whom he had 2 kids with, remember Lily Rose and Jack, they broke up, Johnny and Vanessa did. And this was due to both alleged abuse coming from Johnny, which was later not true, but at the time there was alleged mentions of abuse, but that was never actually true, and his affair with fellow actress Amber Heard, which is true. The Amber Heard thing, unfortunately, is true, and however, despite all this, Johnny and Vanessa managed to stay on good and respectful terms since their breakup. They managed to co-parent their kids. So, I mean, okay, good, good. At least you guys aren't, like, you know, because, I mean, you guys have 2 kids together. That would be really, really sad that they couldn't get along after that. And, anyways, between 2013 and 2015, Johnny Depp starred in more movies, including The Lone Ranger in 2013, Transcendence 2014, Into the Woods 2014, where he played the Big Bad Wolf, and let me tell you, that role, when he was singing about Little Red Riding Hood, it was weirdly sexual, but okay, Big Bad Wolf, I'm not saying this about Johnny, really, I'm talking about the character. Like, I got questions for that wolf, because I've seen Into the Woods. I'm not a fan of it, but I've seen it. And Black Mass in 2015. Is also another movie. And when 2014 came, Johnny and Amber Heard got engaged. And the next year, in 2015, Johnny would get married to her. And 3 years after his breakup, this was 3 years after his breakup with Vanessa, by the way. And in 2015, there was a small incident where Amber got criminal charges for illegally bringing their dogs, Pistol and Boo, into Australia. Yeah, Amber, you sure you weren't able to afford a dog sitter? I mean, you're an actress, and Johnny is also an actor. So, really couldn't just get a dog sitter for Pistol and Boo. Also, who names their... like, the situation's called Pistol and Boo. And I'm assuming that's after the pets' names. I couldn't find anything against that, so I'm assuming that's the pets' names. And in April of 2016, Amber Heard filed for divorce, citing Eric's... I think this is the word I tried saying in my Christian Slater video, and I couldn't. Irreconcilable. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. Differences, and she was even granted a temporary restraining order for alleged abuse from Johnny Depp. Now, during all this, Johnny had a lot of support for the alleged claims that was being made by Amber, including from 2 of his exes, Winona Ryder from back in, like, the 90s, early 90s, and Vanessa Paradis. And they both said he was not an abusive man at all in their relationship, so unless he took a weird deep dive into just being a horrible person. Like, even when I was, like, younger, and, like, when I was, like, 12 or whatever, and I heard all this, I did not believe Johnny Depp did all these things. Like, I was pretty certain that Amber Heard was being a liar, and, I mean, turned out to be correct, so... Yeah, and honestly, let's be honest, there have been women who would lie about this just so they could try and get money or something. Like, I feel like that's happened a few times in Hollywood. And, anyway, moving on from the start of the Amber Heard thing, in the same year, in 2016, Johnny appeared as Gellert Grindelwald in the hit movie Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, which was the first Harry Potter film since, well, the original 8 movies were done. and his casting in the movie had actually been kept totally secret to the public, and it was only revealed to be Johnny Depp at the very end of the movie. So, I mean, there's that. And finally, in 2017, Johnny and Amber's divorce was finalized. This wasn't the end of it, though. You'd think, oh, we're divorced, let's move on, go our separate ways. But no! Amber published an op-ed on the Washington Post titled, "I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath." Now, ma'am, you said abuse, not sexual violence. There'd be difference. And either way, I don't believe her. Look, I don't believe her. Like, I feel like I don't know. And the next year in 2019, Johnny Depp filed for a defamation lawsuit. And this was, of course, all to do with the op-ed from the year before. And this leads us into the more now time in the 2020s. Alright, now here we are in the 2020s, the last 6 years of history in general. But Johnny Depp specifically! From 2020 to 2026, Johnny would star in multiple films, including Minamata in 2020, Jean du Barry in 2023, Johnny Puff's Secret Mission 2024, which I think was an animated movie, and he has an upcoming film in November that's supposed to come out in November this year called Ebenezer, A Christmas Carol, another Christmas Carol movie. There's a lot of those. I only watched the Disney one where Ebenezer's Scrooge is the duck, the uncle or whatever. And in November 2020, Johnny lost the case against Amber for being an alleged wife beater. Again, I never believed he was any of this. Personally, that's me personally. A lot of this is really alleged, and like who knows what happened, but still, I think Johnny is innocent in this, especially since a story came out that she cut the tip of his finger off. Like, for crying out loud. Like, come on. Like, come on, man. And with these claims, the claims were basically said to be substantially true, which is like, oh my gosh. Guys, I think Amber's to blame here. But again, that's what I think. And finally, in 2022, Johnny won against Amber Heard and earned $15 million in damages, while Amber only got $2 million. She shouldn't have got anything at all. First of all, he did nothing to her, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I believe. And because of the trials, Johnny lost his role as Gellert Grindelwald in the third Fantastic Beasts film, Secrets of Dumbledore, 2022. This came out in 2022, and the guy who replaced him was Mads Mikkelsen, and this was kind of before it came out that Johnny was incident in like the Depp versus Heard case, like they kind of kicked him out of Fantastic Beasts too early before the truth came out and stuff. So wow, I don't want to blame them and stuff, or like, and I got nothing against like Mads Mikkelsen playing Grindelwald, I guess, but I kind of prefer Johnny Depp's like portrayal, honestly. And also, still in 2022, Johnny Depp started to briefly date a lawyer named Joelle Rich, and it was described as a brief link right before Johnny's UK trial. So it was very, very brief. Might have only been like 1 or 2 dates, honestly. And later in 2024, Johnny started dating a Russian model and beautician named, I might mispronounce her name, but I'm going to try my best, Yulia Vlasova. And the two are still together to this day in 2026. Now, their relationship is often described to be casual. Overall, though, the relationship is partly just a rumored thing, but I think since it's been around for 2 years, and most people are just sort of like, yeah, these two are together. I think they are together, but it's probably a casual romantic relationship, like not too serious. Like maybe they'll get engaged one day. I don't know, but that's it. Up for Johnny Depp up to this point, and that is my deep dive on the actor Johnny Depp. If you liked this video, make sure to like and subscribe, comment below, anything you like, suggest celebrities that I can maybe make a video about in the future. I am totally open to that, to suggestions. Next episode, I think I'm gonna do Sigourney Weaver, and I'm actually been considering Kurt Cobain, since, he's a celebrity. He doesn't have to, the celebrity doesn't have to be an actor or actress. Celebrity can be a lot of things. It could be a musician, So it's kind of thinking, should I do a video on Kurt Cobain? Cobain! But anyways, make sure to like and subscribe. Also, check out my social links. They're in my channel bio and in the description below. They include my Discord and my Instagram. Now, speaking of Discord, my goal right now for this channel is to reach 50 subscribers. And when I do, I'm gonna open up a Discord server. It's actually already made. I'm just waiting for the 50 subs. So, without further ado, I will see you guys in another video. Have a good day now.